Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shai, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shai, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shai. All praises unto Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Wahara Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles of GreatMillStone. All she prophets will be pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. So this is a video going into the tribulation and a particular kind of mindset that I would advocate, exhort, whatever you want to call it. It's certainly a mindset that I want to employ going forward in my own day-to-day life. And pretty much the scripture speaks about adversity and how that the men of the Lord was going to go through particular adversities in this thing that we call life and this word and the pushing of the word. And it might be whatever, different brothers got different adversities. Okay, different brothers has got different requirements of them. Therefore, their adversities is going to be different. One person's situation might look comfortable, but that might be a hella uncomfortable situation for that particular person. And another person's situation may look totally uncomfortable, and that'll be a totally comfortable situation for that particular individual. So the Most High basically is the one that issues forth the judgment and therefore the hardening of a man. Okay, and as a result, you're gonna have different forms of adversities, man. Okay, but the end product is pretty much just gonna be of the same ilk. Okay, I'm not gonna say the product's gonna be the same, because that's not gonna be true. Okay, when we read the scriptures, you find out that the Most High set it up to where you was gonna have different vessels of honor. Okay, they're all honorable vessels, but it was different vessels. You had some stone work that was honorable. If I remember correctly, you had metal work that was honorable. Okay, but the work that's not gonna make it is the chaff, which is gonna be burnt by the heat. Okay, so this is a good mindset to have, and I'll start it off here with this particular quote. I'll read the quote. It says, "A diamond is just a piece of charcoal that is hard that handled stress exceptionally," and that makes me think about the truth, and that also too. Okay, what necessarily doesn't get said. I don't know if it's not necessarily often enough, or it really is not my place to say. But I'll say, I'll say it now. But if the Spirit has it to where it's not going to be said again, then that's the Spirit. But also how the statement is that how you also apply this truth as you navigate through this world. Now, I ain't trying to be worldly, but you're gonna apply this truth to your you should really be applying this truth to your navigating. You shouldn't be split down in half, and then you have a camp version of you, and then you have a work going version of you, and then you have the you of, that's kind of, what do they call it? Multiple personalities, man. Okay. But in your day to day, you're going to experience certain stressful situations. And if you handle that stress well, you're going to come out of that situation harder. You're going to come out of that situation being, what's the words I'm looking for? Being, having experience. Okay. And that's what separates the boys from the men. Okay. I ain't saying I'm a man, but I would hope to be in terms of this truth. Because really, when you're talking about in terms of this truth, and you've got it to where you got the elders, they've been in this word for a couple of decades, and then you're talking about someone that hasn't been in this for barely a decade, then I'm just still a boy. Okay? But pretty much the adversity separates the men from the boys. You see that certain cats are going back onto the times when the elders, they came in, the people that they grew up with, there's some of them that went back into the world. Okay, but the men that you call the elders, and that's why we give them double honors, because they've gone through the adversities, and hell, they're still going through the adversities because they're they're bound to this flesh, so therefore they're going to be going through the particular adversities until the time of the end comes. But pretty much, those are men, and Yahweh Shem Yahshai Ra'azah, I'll be like them one day, hardened in the battle. Okay, having handle the particular stresses that is necessary for this truth. And that reminds me of that scripture where it talks about the millstone. Okay, and that's the thing that always comes up. The millstone, the stone, the hardness of that stone is a thing. Hey, the Lord put into the scriptures, on multiple times, man. Okay, the hardness of the stone, the great millstone, how that Babylon was going to be destroyed by a great, a stone, a hard thing, man. Okay, how that the Lord, anyone that was going to fall upon him or break, I forget the exact quotation of that scripture. So I'm not gonna bash it, but the Lord is the head cornerstone. There's gonna be something within them stones, man. There's gonna be something within them stones. And I think one of those things that is to be said about a stone is its hardness, its ability to endure affliction. Because when you have a piece of metal and you are hardening that piece of metal, they say iron sharpeneth iron. Okay, but what's going to be on the reverse of that iron? Really, you're going to have an anvil, but then the anvil might sit on a piece of stone, or you might not have an anvil. You might just have it to where you work that particular metal using particular stones, of which really, when you go into it, the metal is kind of like a stone itself, man. If you really go into it, okay, when certain particular men saw the chariots, okay, going back, they, said that was a great mountain, a stone, things like this. So there's going to be something within them stones. All right, so the book of Revelations 2:25 says, that which you have already, hold fast until I come. Now, I always go to the scripture. It always, it resonates with my spirit, this particular scripture. Because, I aspire to be one of those people that, I'll be one of those people that hold fast until the end, man. Okay? Hold fast to that, fast, but that which you have already, meaning to say the Most High gave a whole people this truth, man. A whole bunch of people with this truth. Remember what the scripture says, though. Okay? Basically how that many were called, but very few people were actually chosen into being, okay, that's a man of the Lord. Okay, that's a prophet. As in, out and out. You have a guy prophesying this truth for a little while, and then he'll just bounce. That's it. That's how much he was going to take. Again, I'll be one of the men that endure unto the end. But we've seen examples of this. It'll be, one of them cats. Remember all the scriptures, man. Okay. But the Most High set it up to where what? You weren't part of the greater number. Okay, he didn't handle the stressful situations enough, because you could have a person, look, to really, when you're going into a person looking deep and cutting people with the scriptures, we're not talking about the ability to, we're not talking about the how spiritual a man is. We're talking about a man's ability to remember stuff. You find a lot of people that remember a lot of scriptures, also remember a lot of different things, whether it be, that skill can be applied. Now, it is a good skill. I'm not saying it's a wicked. I'm not saying because you remember a whole bunch of scriptures, you're wicked. But that's not necessarily going to have it to where you get on a chariot. Okay? Now, like the scripture speaks about the penny. Here's the balance of that statement. The scripture speaks about the pennies. If that's the talent the Most High gave you, then you better be damn sure you use it to the building of this of this building. But you gotta remember too, just because you remember a whole bunch of things, that goes for myself too. That doesn't mean to say that's gonna get you on a chariot, man. Okay, and that goes for anything other than the gift of the spirit and of faith and all of these things that really you can't really make yourself, or it ain't nothing like ultimately when you go into it, the Most High is the one that sets up to where what a person can do certain things. Okay, so. That's not necessarily the best example, but it's important to remember that these so-called, tangible things, the Most High really don't really go for tangible things. He goes for the inner character of a man. And that's what you got to ask yourself every day when you're going through this truth. Is your inner man really pleasing Yahweh Shem Yahushai? That goes down to your thoughts. Remember what the scripture says about coveting a man's wife. You be looking at that woman, and that's a cut to all of us, man. That's a cut to all of us, because who hasn't looked at you in Tesco somewhere, you in a store somewhere, you see a beautiful woman next to a man, you ain't, come on, we're men. You look, but that's going off. You ain't supposed to be doing that. So you got to work the inner character, man, the inner man, okay, who is renewed day by day through the what? Through the afflictions that we go through, okay? But that which you have already, hold fast until I come, and he that overcometh. Meaning to say there was going to be a difference between the people that was going to overcome and some people wasn't going to overcome, man. Okay, he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, man. So that's the reward. And you know, that's the reward. And I suppose another title that I could have had for this video is that it's too late in the game to give up now, man. Okay, we're in the times where you're supposed to be, you know, built up strong, okay? And 100%, we're in the last days of the last days. And you know, I say that, but really I'm praying that, okay, that I'll have my foundation sure, okay? Because you could do a whole bunch of videos, but if you ain't putting the prayers up to where what you're saying on the video on record, okay, matches up with what's happening out there, then hey, man, your ass is grass. Okay, he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end. Okay, I will give a power over the nation. So that's the reward. That's what we're working towards. Okay, so hopefully that was of inspirational. Okay, hopefully that was of edification. With that, I'm gonna say, all praise unto Abba Shemi Al Shai Wahara Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles of Great Millstone. Ownership, obviously, pushing this truth in sincerity. Shalom.